Okay everyone, what with the spooky season over, it's now just back to regular old autumn. So let's take full advantage of that cozy, warm feeling and let's make your films have that autumn, slightly possibly moody feel. So let's just get on with it.
Alrighty then, so like this handsome devil just told you, we are going to do some autumn-esque colour grading. But first of all, we need to start by just doing some basic colour correction. Now, there is a difference between colour grading and colour correction. Colour correction is when you correct the colours in your clip. It's fairly self-explanatory. The colour grading is the actual kind of creative, artsy stuff. That's where you start to bring out certain colours and just make it look more vibrant. Now, the actual clips I'm going to use to show you are actually from a short film I did, so it's already been color corrected. So I'm going to show you to do the color correction on my intro clip, and that is fairly simple. You've seen me do it before. We up the exposure a little bit, bring in some contrast, bring down the exposure because that actually didn't look that great. Bring up the highlights, bring down the shadows as usual, and then to bring in some of that slight autumny, let's bring in some orange. Let's bring in some temperature orange. So let's see it without and with. There we go, much more bright and vibrant. So now I've gotten that out of the way. The actual fun part comes in when we do our actual clips. So for that we go into our little folder here. We go into new item and we get our adjustment layer. We bring the adjustment layer over the clips we're going to use, like so. Drag it out for the full amount. And now we are going to do the rest of our work on our adjustment layer. So for our adjustment layer, we start off with simply going into the curves. I'm going to do our master RGB curve, and we're going to make an S curve. That's where we make 3 points. We bring this one up slightly, and we bring this one down slightly. This already looks a bit more moody and a bit more atmospheric. I'm going to make it slightly subtler because some of the colors are going a little bit wild. There we go. That's looking a bit better now. So I'm going to move on to our next one, which is the color wheels. Now we have shadows, midtones, and highlights. Now what we're going to do is we're going to affect the midtones and the highlights. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring out some of the autumn orangey colors within the scene. So with this, for the midtones, we go more towards the orange, and then in the highlights we go more towards the blue. Now because they are opposite ends of the spectrum, they will cancel each other out, but they'll also just enhance the image overall. As you can see, we've made it a bit more gloomy, a bit more atmospheric. We've got some more of the oranges in there, but last thing we're going to do is going to put in a vignette. So what we need to do is affect the amount. So for that, we bring that down to about there, shall we say. Roundness, let's bring it up to about there, and then feather, let's leave it 50. So now you can see there's a bit of a shadow cast around the edges of the screen. That is the vignette. That brings our moodiness kind of all together. Now what we need to do finally is we need to do a bit of basic color correction on the adjustment layer itself. Now I know you've already done this on your clips, but the reason we do it on the adjustment layer is so that the correction is on all of your clips rather than just the one. So what we need to do is find a decent spot, so like this one, and then we go into our basic color correction. And we basically do something similar to what we've done with our clips beforehand, and we just play around to see how it looks. It's all trial and error, so I will see you once I have figured that out. Now one thing that might happen while you are color grading like this is the skin tones might go absolutely insane. One fix for this is you make another adjustment layer, you put it above your original adjustment layer and your clip, and you go to the HSL secondary color grading, which is hue, saturation, and light. You select your eyedropper, you click on a skin tone, say it there. You go to color gray, and then essentially you are going to manipulate really just these parts of your image. So you want to get it so as much as kind of exposed skin as possible on screen is covered, so then that part you can fully manipulate. However, sometimes one adjustment layer in this way is not enough, so you do another adjustment layer, you click on the same skin tone part, and you start to work off of multiple adjustment layers to get the skin tone right. Here we are, everyone, at the end of this video. I hope you've enjoyed this slightly different format of me being on camera a bit more. Sorry again about the different, shall we say, audio quality. As you can see, I'm using a new microphone. I'm still trying to figure out the setup, so I hope you can forgive that, and I'm going to improve it for the next video. And as always, if you've enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, all that usual YouTube palaver, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.